Welcome to this week's edition of the MMA Analysis podcast. I am not Lance. You guys are welcome. We kicked him off for Friday. He's on babysitting duty or some shit. It's going to be Wes soon. Wes is going to have to suffer that fate. But for now, we've got him here. Friday night, Bellator is going on. There was just a hell of a fun fight between Paul Daly and Saba Hamasi. But you don't want to listen to more Ronaldo and Big John McCarthy because those guys suck. So tune in, listen to us for blab about some fights for a couple hours. Wes will scream whenever anything good happens on Bellator, so you'll know to look back over to either the YouTube feed, which apparently is like a minute and a half ahead of actual showtime.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get you there. Sean, how's it going tonight?
Tonight's all right. Life's a bit of a shit show. I'm trying to buy a house. That is fun.
Isn't
it's
it?
fun in a pandemic. It's fun in this environment where houses are going for just stupid prices. I thought people were broke because fucking COVID, but houses are going like 20, 30 grand for around here above like list price and shit like that. It's good times.
I went through the same thing last summer, so I feel your pain right now. I was like, yeah, we'll just hold off for a couple months. There'll be people, especially because we live in a university town. So I was like, oh, there's definitely going to be people that have to sell because they don't have renters and shit, and prices just kept going up. So we bought last summer, and we could probably sell this summer for like 100 grand more.
Your housing market up there is just absolutely insanity.
And the house that I'm renting is my buddy's. And of course, he is selling his house right now because we're going to be out of here in a couple months.
So you got people coming in looking at that.
People seeing it during COVID. It's an absolute mess, man. That's why one of the reasons why I wasn't on the show last week. But what can you do?
Fun times.
Yeah.
But I think I'm still logged in under your account. But whatever, we'll figure it all out. I can end the broadcast anytime I want. So watch what you say.
Power.
Wes, how's it going? You got little Wes is sprouting up faster than you can shake a stick.
Yeah, it's busy time. Yeah, one of my busier times of the year. That and trying to go to the doctor's appointments and all that shit.
Trying to squeeze in a casino trip here and there in between those appointments. It's a struggle, man.
I'm a couple weeks out from my Bill Gates chip, so we'll probably be taking a little trip. Maybe try to juice the slot machines with my inner chip. Maybe hit a jackpot or something.
That's right.
But just crazy time of the year. So
Toronto and Ontario in general is an absolute shit show right now. But I live in one of the areas in Ontario where they earlier this week opened up the vaccine registration for everybody. So I'm registered. Nice. I'm ready. I'm waiting. Like Bill, here, baby. Right here. I'm waiting for it.
Give it to me, Billy. Come on, Billy. I swear I won't buy any more Apple shit. Just give it to me.
That's right. So it's fun times going on in Canada right now. We're the shit show we so often make fun of you guys for being. But guys, stop shooting each other, please. Come on.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, love it or leave it. Like when you pry it from my cold dead hands. Yeah, seriously though, we have a gun problem down here in this state.
Nah,
just a little bit,
just a bit, just a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm like, y'all know me. I'm all for the right to own a gun, and I'm a gun owner. I own quite a few guns. It should not be harder to drive a car than it is to get a fucking firearm. Like, that's just insanity.
You'd think so. You would think so. But alas, here we are. We got some shit to talk about. We got a card coming up tomorrow, weirdly enough. Not often we say that. That's only because we're late. As Hyper said in the chat, we had to delay couple days, get that extra tape study in, make sure that we give you guys nothing but winning bets, as we always do.
If you didn't watch like at least 90 minutes of Just Get Penne footage this week, then what are you really doing? I mean,
it's so relevant. Her fights from like her atomweight fights from 2013 in Invicta. I mean, that just translates right to 2021. So, yeah, coming off a 4-year layoff.
The OnlyFans videos? You were talking about her actual fights.
I don't think I want to see the OnlyFans videos. There's a lot of free content out there on the internet that I would watch and would have to be taken down before I would go down that path.
Very fair. Very fair.
Yeah. Crackstreams.is. Boom. There you go.
Yeah.
Yes. That's mostly the go-to. We'll talk a little bit about last week's card. It feels like it was forever ago at this point. I'm not even sure I remember most of the fights, but we'll get through that. We'll probably give you a little bit of live commentary as things happen in Bellator, although with it being Bellator on Showtime, we're probably not going to get another fight for 45 minutes or so. So crazy. We'll see how that goes. And then, of course, we're going to break down this weekend's UFC Vegas 24.
Yep.
Yeah, Whittaker and Gastelum. So got a lot on the plate tonight. Rose Namajunas is a racist. I actually typed it into Google Translate, and Namajunas, when you translate it from Lithuanian, Nama means I hate. And then, you know how the Lithuanians and Nazi Germany were like real tight together. So in German, Juden is Jew. In Lithuanian, Eunice is Jew.
Eunice.
So it's I hate Jews is Rose Namajunas. That's her last name. But you know, we just bring you the hard hitting analysis here. It's in the name of the show. That's
straight facts, baby.
We should have seen it coming. We should have seen all this coming, right? I mean, it was right there in front of our faces.
Yeah, I mean, people just have to use the tools that they have.
I mean, the shaved head, the shaved head, the I hate Jews in the name. I mean, God.
Yeah, less tape study, more linguistics, people. More linguistics. That's what you need in this game. UFC on ABC2. Somehow, Marvin Vettori and Kevin Holland were a main event on ABC. And tomorrow we get to watch Whittaker and Kelvin Gastelum on, I don't know, what is it for you, ESPN Plus?
Yep.
Just a little different. That's
Yeah, that's I mean, you got to try and break into that that network TV market with bangers like that one.
Remember when that was a big deal going on network television?
Oh yeah, now they put the dog shit fights on. Like I know there was a cancellation and all that sort of stuff, but oof.
They made a big deal about, remember when they went back to ABC like a few months ago, whatever, like the whole Twitter world was like, oh, this is big, this is huge. It's like, do y'all remember Fox? I mean, they were literally on Fox for like years ago. Like, it's huge, it's ABC, like. So what the fuck? You're giving them Vettori on a fucking Saturday
afternoon. Card they put out, it was such a big deal. And then compare that with like the early Fox cards.
Yeah, those cards were huge, man. They had like great fights on those cards.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually remember that the first ABC card was the Holloway Qatar fight, which good fight, absolutely. But the first Fox fight was Kane and JDS for the heavyweight title. And then you had like a whole bunch of contenders fights. You had title fights on Fox in the lightweight division, the flyweight division. Like it's not even a comparison to what's happening right now. Anyways, Marvin Vettori predictably took Kevin Holland down a bunch and laid on him, and man, like we're gonna go back in a couple of years and look at Kevin Holland and see that he beat Jacare, even like a 57-year-old Jacare, and then lost a decision to Brunson and lost a decision to Vettori. and lost a decision to whoever the next wrestler that he faces is going to be, and just be like, man, what the fuck happened in that fight? And it was some stupid shit. Kevin Holland is not good. He's not a good middleweight. And we got that COVID bump. We got some fades on it. And she gone at this point. Wes, any thoughts on this main event?
Yeah, just that, man. It's Kevin Holland like parlayed the COVID year into some pretty good shit. Like I'll give him that much, I guess, but he's bad. Like he's just not good, man. Even on the feet, we know Vettori's lacking a little, like at distance and shit, and Holland was still like could barely do anything, man. Kevin, I don't even want to talk about Kevin Holland much anymore. Like that guy can go on somewhere and fight it, fucking wherever.
You know what? I enjoy Kevin Holland fights when he's fighting Charlie Ontiveros and like whoever, Fluffy Hernandez and the other bums that he fought in 2020.
I mean, him and Darren Stewart throwing down was fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kevin Holland doesn't need to be main eventing cards against top 7-8 talent. Like it just
no.
But Vettori, man, like I'm even watching that fight. We still see what Vettori does well, and I think what Vettori does well could give Izzy some slight problems. I still want to see that fight again. I think there's a path for Vettori to win. And I'd like to see if Izzy could solve it because he knows what he's going to do. Vettori's going to come in and try to rough him up. He does it well, man. He gets takedowns. He roughs guys up. He can controls on the ground pretty well. He works on the mat, throws a lot of punches. So it's an intriguing fight.
Yeah, got the durability and the willingness to get hits to get through that first layer of Izzy's offense. So
he seems like a total fucking meathead, but at least
he doesn't appear to be. He is.
He is a total fucking meathead, but in the cage, the dude literally is very fucking smart. He knows what he does well, and he does it. And
he's self-aware.
Give him props for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Most guys are not. Sean, thoughts on that main event?
Not too much. This is the only fight that I'm pretty sure I picked correctly on Saturday. I got absolutely slaughtered. And even this fight I got wrong. I thought Vettori might be able to finish him.
Probably should have.
Holland is tough. I'll give him that.
Holland is tough, and he's got decent sub defense. He was able to get out of that arm triangle. Vettori wasn't just able to power through it. He needed a little bit more technique. But yeah. We're not surprised. We hated this matchup. We wanted I know there was no options for Vettori, but literally anything else would have been better than this. It was absolutely boring.
How did we pass over that the Garage Man is getting his fucking title shot? How did we know?
I mean, we already knew that, and it's more sad news because we have to wait to fucking September to see it happen.
I guess I probably shouldn't even have said nothing because fucking Jan's probably got COVID now. You probably just got it after I said something.
Blachowicz is just trying to age Glover as long as he possibly can.
That's what it is. He's scared.
All that means is more garage training. So Jan's just gonna be absolutely fucked.
What's the actual date of that fight? Because I mean, the other wrinkle is that my birthday is in late September. So it might just be a birthday present for me for Glover to pick up that COVID weight belt.
There's very few fights and wins that would make me happier over the past couple of years.
That's up there.
Yeah.
September 4th, Bradley.
It's too early in the month. Damn. Oh well. We'll figure it out.
That's September long weekend, baby. Party.
Yeah.
He's got COVID still.
Labor Day. All right, going from the bottom of this card up real quick. Impa, no hooks, rear naked choke against dude who shouldn't be in the UFC. That happened. Anything?
Yeah, that choke was nasty. That was a double-digit piece choke right there.
Sean, anything there?
No, I mean, saw that whatever it was, I don't know what it was. It's over 1,000. That's a pretty sick one.
Doesn't count.
I think most people expected him to either win a decision or TKO somebody, but yeah, he no hooks. That's keeping it old school right there. Just raw power.
Next up, light heavyweight division. Just sadness all around. So I've got a theory. I blame this on the new trunks. Thick Willie, he had everything situated just right with his cup situation in the old Reebok trunks. And then they throw out these new Venom trunks. They got a different inseam. They got a different junk seam. There's all kinds of different seams going on. The cup didn't fit right. It was throwing off his balance. Because if you'll notice, every one of those little outside trips that Unhung landed was to the same side every time. Because the cup and the shorts forced Thick Willie over to that side, so his balance was all off, made the takedowns easy. No contest. They're gonna refund my bet. I already talked to Tony from the grave. He said, no, we understand. There was some shenanigans at play here. Doesn't count. Moving forward.
Unfortunately, I didn't place my bet at old Tony's establishment, so I didn't get a refund. I'm kind of pissed, Brad. Yeah, that was sad. I don't think any of us really saw it going that way.
No.
The Unhung just pulls a rabbit out of his hat and just was able to wrestle fucking Thick Willie to death. I don't know. I felt like if Thick Willie had a little bit better game plan, he might have been okay. He was forcing shit, getting himself into bad positions to just get easy takedowns. The dude still showed good cardio. I mean, he got wrestle fucked for 3 full rounds, and he was still had some gas in him, which is surprising considering.
He took some punches too.
Yeah.
He was tagging dude at the start of the 3rd round, I think.
Yeah, the 3rd.
Throwing some hammers, and then just ended up in the clinch again, and just that step around outside trip, which we've already discussed. Don't need to go through it anymore.
I feel like we all thought he was gonna probably get taken down, once or twice. I don't think we thought he was gonna get taken down that many times. He's still
by the exact same takedown.
Yeah,
and he's still almost powered out of those a couple times, dude. Like, just one of those straight Derek Lewis get off me fucking power ups. Like, he almost got a couple. Unhung is not good though, man. Like, I saw some people immediately on Twitter that night, like, oh man, this guy might not be bad. Look what he just did to Thick Willie. And it's like, man, did you watch the fight? Thick Willie literally was running it. Chandra, he was so over aggressive and shit, man. Yeah, I'm probably gonna bet Thick Willie next time at some plus money again though. Like, this is probably gonna get us a decent number on him once again. Hopefully it's not
as long as his opponent can't do the old inside trip.
Yeah, exactly.
They got to get those shorts fixed though, man. Like, when you
I'm telling you,
if you can't center up that last 3 or 4 inches and it's off to one side,
he needs full circulation to keep that brain working.
I mean, for a normal person, not a problem. For Thick Willie, you know how much of the center of gravity is located down there? I mean, dude, come on.
The head of that thing's like a rangefinder. Like, it's got to be centered. You know what I'm saying?
He should have been the one testing these shorts because he would have gave him a heads up.
You know what? Those articles came out last week about the Venom owner being a little bit racist, and I think this might just be another example of white supremacy at work.
It's fucked up.
Yeah. Not enough room. Can't handle the girth. All right. Next up, I didn't see this fight, so you guys will have to comment on it. I had a little bet on Griffin by submission. Some people told me that it was 2 seconds away from winning in one of the rounds. I don't know if that's true, but I lost. And he lost to Luis Saldana, who I still am not sure I've ever seen fight. Sean?
I didn't see this fight. I still haven't watched this fight.
Wes?
I did see the outrage on Twitter about this decision. So Wes will have to fill us in on that one.
Yeah, I can barely remember this fight, but I do remember that I bet Griffin, and at the time I thought he won the fight.
Fair enough. I mean, you bet him,
Yes.
so of course you thought he won the fight. That doesn't really tell me much. Yeah, I can't care enough about this to get worked up about it.
Nope.
Next up, bantamweight division. Pretty
fun.
decent fight between Jack Shore and Hunter Azure. People always say this. I didn't think it was a split decision. Well, like, of course you didn't think it was a split decision because you thought one guy either won or lost. You don't have two votes. You can't split them. I thought that Jack Shore won this fight pretty clearly, but good competitive fight.
I think it was close, but it was fairly easy to score, in my opinion. These judges, last couple of weeks, there's been certain
Really
ones
bad.
slipping in some bad ones. It hasn't completely fucked over most of the guys. It's just been like the odd one out, or even if it's like somebody gave like 29-28 instead of a 30-27, people are like, what the fuck is that card? Like, I don't know what's going on.
The eyebrow raisers.
I don't know. Jack Shore's good, man. He's got some good skills. I think this was a good test for him. Azur's kind of a well-rounded, pretty tough guy, and he looked good against him.
Wes?
Yeah. Sean's right on these scores. That's atrocious. Like it was closer, but it was clear. It was completely easy to score. Yeah, the past couple of weeks we've had some. Like Sean said, they haven't changed the outcome of the fight, but they've been like, what the fuck are they looking at? Yeah, I mean, Jack Shore is from fucking Wales. He's not from Britain. He can fucking wrestle a little bit. Like, the guy's got some skills, man. He out wrestled and pretty much beat, a dude at his own game that does those things fairly well. And he looked way better. Like, I like Jack Shore. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, Jack Shore is pretty damn good. We'll see what happens. Like, people can't even say we'll see what happens when he fights a wrestler now because, Azur's a pretty decent wrestler and looked good in that one. Next up, the big boys. I was on the fatties here. I did not see. I did not see this coming. But
I'll one up you.
Hey, I Sean had a bet on Castro. Did you ever bet on Castro in this one?
I deserved what I got for a bloodbath on Saturday because I parlayed De Castro.
There was an MMA play on De Castro straight, bro. So don't feel too bad. Straight.
How many units?
It was like 2.
Holy shit! That's like 50,000 Keltons.
Yeah, it's like
It's a lot of Keltons.
Yep.
Yeah, I did not see this coming, but this is shitty heavyweights and dumb shit happens. That's just a poor bet on my part. I was just like, guy's been out for 5 years. He was shitty before.
They had to be doing
it's heavyweights.
Like
you can land. You need one punch and it's over.
What are we talking about? Shitty heavyweights. This is the man mountain we're talking about. I warned you last week. I said De Castro is not Hulk Hogan. He can't stand next to him.
Did they have like a village of people training this guy over the past 5 years? Like, what the fuck was he doing?
Yeah.
Jesus.
He looked well. He looked like he'd been, taking his vitamins and lifting his weights, saying his prayers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. I love when, like, I know you lost a bet, Sean, but I love when stupid shit like that happens at heavyweights.
It's amazing.
Oh yeah, I lost.
I don't learn. I
lost a bet too.
We lost fatties, but when it happened, literally, like, that was one of the wowest moments for me on that entire card. Like,
that was a dead body. Yeah,
it was.
That was like the Chuck fall behind yourself with your arm out and like. dislocate your shoulder while you're at it too.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's part of the allure of betting fatties, because if you lose the bet, it's because something like that happens, and if you win
And
the bet,
it's usually like that too. Like usually when you lose it, it's you lose it, and like I'd rather get that than like they get sloppy and you lose it by like 5 seconds. No, just knock somebody out cold.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fatties. That's what you get.
Absolutely. Next up, lightweight division. Oh, kind of lightweight division. The guy that everyone, he's so tall, man. How can he lose? He's so tall, and McDessie's old. He sucks. This Baja Men guy, he thinks that switching stances scores points. He's one of those guys. He's like, oh man, I just switched stances on him. What are you gonna do, bro? But yeah, he has absolutely no striking defense, and McDessie got hit a bunch in this fight, but he landed the way bigger shots, landed more of them, and put the lesson on the kid. Wes?
Yeah, he did, man. It's one of the few bets I hit. It's crazy. Like McDessie is one of the few I hit, man. Yeah, he put a bet lesson on the kid. He's always been tough, man. I don't think he's ever been great or anything, but when you're fighting marginal dudes like this, who for some reason people are betting because he's fucking tall and young 20s and shit, like he didn't do much. Like I don't know. McDessie got hit quite a bit, but he always does. So yeah, we'll take the dog money on McDessie and move on.
Yeah, aggressive McDessie. I'm here to watch. Sean, anything on that one?
He's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
You're a heightist, Brad. It's not very nice. You got it out for the,
I absolutely am. It's gonna come out in this card too, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I don't get the old split decision on this one. I don't know how you can find
that's
2 rounds
for
the tall guy defense. I hope they put him up against somebody with actual power, because we could see some beautiful tall guy defense on display. It's probably going to be meme worthy. So
now that James Vick's gone, we need somebody to take his place.
The YMCA is coming back around, man. You got to keep it going.
A knockout I did not expect was from the pillow-fisted Mateus Gamrot, but Holtzman, when the chin is done, the chin is done. And my goodness, is the chin on Scott Holtzman done. Sean?
Yeah, I had Gamrot by decision, of course. So we see absolute real knockout for Gamrot. Yeah, I thought Holtzman could keep it together against Gamrot, but obviously I was wrong, and seems like a strong wind will knock out the old Holtzman these days. So I guess
he could early. He could early.
Yeah, but it didn't last. So
no,
that'll be something to look for in the future. I think Gamrot's decent. He might be boring, but he wasn't on Saturday.
He's too small for lightweight, man. He looked little in there next to Holtzman.
Holtzman's pretty big though. Holtzman's pretty big, but I don't. He can't make 45 though.
Holtzman's like that.
Not against this guy, he wasn't.
No, he's not.
I'm saying, like, whenever they stood side by side, or like they were both profile to the camera, one was like a sheet of paper and one was like an encyclopedia. Wes, anything to add on that fight?
Nah, just not. I said it last week. Holtzman's chin is done, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're getting knocked out by this guy. It's over.
Yep. Lightweight division, this sucked. It was a round of Jim Miller in top position, and then it was rounds 2 and 3. So of course Jim Miller was not in top position, and the other guy was in top position, and did absolutely nothing against one of the more tired fighters you're ever going to see in your life. Selecki gets a decision. Should we move on?
Yeah, that's a bad look, not being able to finish with that much top control and how gassed he was. That's bad.
Yeah, I lost a good little chunk on this fight going to a decision.
Ugh.
Yeah, I didn't love that. Selecki, he's either won every fight in round one or gone to decision. And it seems like there's no in between with that dude.
I thought that was what was going to happen. Hilmer Miller was going to get us in the first round.
Yep. Just they were both so focused on not letting their opponent get their stuff that nobody got anything. In a fight where one guy got a lot of offense, Daniel Rodriguez, unanimous decision against Mike Perry. I mean, our reasoning for betting Mike Perry is that he was going to be in shape and
Motivated.
he was going to come to fight. And
he was in shape.
He was in shape.
I don't know if he was motivated.
He came to get punched in the face for 15 minutes. My goodness. Yeah, that dude is. I don't know what you do with him at this point. Wes?
And his nose is Roy McDonald level at this point too. Like it's done. It's gonna get destroyed every single fight
too. That was early.
Yeah, it's done. Like his nose is gonna get broken every single time he fights. I don't know, man. Like, I guess he tried for a couple takedowns and he got one, but Rodriguez got up fairly easy, but he had to get takedowns. And I mean, he even said after the fight, was like, I don't know, man. I used to be good at this. Like, I don't know if you was ever really, really good at it, Mike, but you was better than this. I'm thinking the same thing. What the fuck happened? Mike used to be halfway decent at this. Like, I don't know, man. Because he looked in about as good a shape as we've seen him in a couple years. We talked about it. He was at an okay camp now. But man, that's one of the roughest, like just straight up 15 minutes of ass whooping that you'll see. So Mike Perry's got to go on the list for a little bit. Stay away from that dude. I don't know what to think about Rodriguez though. After that, I don't really know what that tells you. He literally got to fight a fucking sparring partner and fuck him up. That's what that looked like.
And when that sparring partner can take you down pretty easily and stay on top of you for a while, like I know eventually he got back to his feet.
Yeah.
But when he can stay on top of you for a while, that's not a great sign. If he fights somebody that grapples him, I'm fading. Sean?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah, he's got decent striking, but that grappling's terrible. Perry was showing off that rock solid chin that he's got, and he is going to put that thing to the test in the next bunch of fights because he has regressed horribly on the feet.
When that chin goes, it's going to be sad to watch.
Gonna be, because he gets hit a lot.
Next up, we've got a strawweight fight, and I tried to warn some people before this fight. I know I said that Ansarov had the skill set to win, but she had a baby more recently than Mackenzie Dern had a baby.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't know what else you need to know. That's, yeah. Do either of you have any, like, Dern looked good in this fight.
Yeah,
she actually got a takedown. She got a takedown. She landed some strikes on the feet.
And she took down, however we think about this level of fighting, she took down a chick that actually had decent takedown defense, got her on board. Like, if she can have any sort of wrestling, offensive wrestling to get it to the mat, she's a problem. Like, she really is. She looked great.
Yep.
Sean, anything?
Not too much. Basically, if she gets to the ground, she's a problem. If she doesn't, she's going to get lit up. So it depends. I mean, I guess Rebus was in her guard for a while and didn't get subbed and stuff, but I don't know. I wouldn't play there too long. She seems to be figuring out the grappling in MMA pretty well.
Yeah, and it's a whole different story when it's her in top position.
Yeah.
That's not a good look for anybody at 115. Middleweight division. This was a fun one. Julian Marquez did some smart things and then decided to start just like winging hooks with Sam Alvey and almost got his blocks knocked off. And then came out in the second round and just put it on Alvey and very, very meme-worthy choke. So I'll let Wes talk about the end of this fight.
So good.
Yeah, I said something like, yeah, it's me drinking all night after a card and then going to the fridge for the leftover pizza, but the wife ain't got it. And that's Alvey's face when he's like, that's the look on my face. Yeah, that was fun though, man. Like, Alvey, it's crazy. He's kind of like the past couple years, he's in insane fights now. Like, mad shit happens in Alvey fights. Now, it used to be the dude just did nothing, circle through a punch. It's most of the time him getting his shit pieced in, which is still pretty fun. Alvey did look looked in shape too. He's almost like Perry coming in his fight, man. Like, the dude actually looked in really good shape, ready for his fight. Yeah, I think Marquez is okay, but man, he might be urinal cake level, dude. Like, he does some dumb shit at times. Like, Alvey tagged him in that fight, man. So, yeah, fun fight. This is one of the few fights I got right. And, yeah, I guess we'll see what they do with Marquez, man. It seems like he's going to be in fun fights, whether he's getting his ass whooped or not. So.
I mean, for his sake, I hope they give him anyone but a wrestler. Sean?
I was not a fan of how this fight went down. I laid some heavy juice on over 1.5, and then I took over 2.5 as well. I was hoping for a little less chaos, a little more, boring, low volume, maybe some cage control. This was just an absolute brawl. Yeah, this not a good look. Like, here's the thing: if you're gonna come in that kind of shape and still just get absolutely annihilated, and really the only reason you're sort of in the fight because the guy you're fighting is an absolute moron and takes the hardest path he could possibly take, you should probably just hang him up, Sam Alvey. Marquez is still a fade. He's
how much is Sam Alvey getting paid for each time he shows up these days? Because
like 50.
I mean,
50?
He was actually getting a decent check from the last time I saw. He was getting more than most of those fucking mooks on the undercards.
Absolutely. He's probably getting another like $52,374 from Venom too, now that they, raised it just below the inflation level.
So he made
co-main event.
He made 65 back in 2020 at UFC 249.
Yeah.
So it's somewhere in that range, probably.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's making 60,
dude,
60, 70 grand.
All things considered, if he's got a 60 and 60 contract, that's pretty fucking good. Like, that is not bad to be Sam Alvey. You might as well say you're going to get 60.
For the amount of people that Sam Alvey brings in, that's an all right deal. I mean, I wouldn't take it for brain trauma, but hey, I'm also not someone that's decided to get punched in the head for a living. So take that for what it's worth. Finally, co-main event, actually good fight. Featherweight division, Arnold Allen. This is not how I expected this to go, with Arnold Allen being the guy that was losing rounds and then landing the big shots to win rounds. But that's how it turned out. And yeah, not too bad. Takes the unanimous decision over Sadiq Youssef. Always like to see Team Lloyd Irvin guys lose.
Rape Irvin.
So that's a plus. Not sure if you guys have anything to add on this one.
I had Youssef. He won most of the fight, but when he was not winning the fight, he was losing it badly.
Yes, he was.
Both these guys are pretty good. We'll see what both of them can do going forward, but yeah, they're both pretty good for young guys.
Wes?
Yeah, I just happened to switch to Youssef. I was kind of back and forth on this fight, but man, I've liked Allen a lot, man. And the first time I kind of went on the other side of him, I think the kid's good, man. I did kind of think it was going to play out the opposite way though. Allen winning rounds and Youssef landing the big stuff to maybe steal him. Allen's good, man. I think they're both pretty good. So yeah, looking forward to watching both of them.
I mean, Allen's always been one of those guys that he needs moments to win fights. Like, against some lower level guys, he can win rounds, but you go back to his win over Mads Burnell, who, for some reason, one of the best fights on the Bellator card happened at like 5:45 this evening on the prelims. But like lost 2 rounds and then managed to win that fight. He's done that a few times. Alan Omer, I think. So it's going to be interesting. It's very hard to trust, but somehow he's done it consistently. So interesting look for Arnold Allen moving forward, but definitely very talented kid, still young. All right, that does it for UFC, whatever that was. Moving on to this week's card, UFC Vegas 24. Kicking it off in the bantamweight division, we have Tony Gravely taking on Anthony Birchak. Sean, start us off.
I thought Tony Gravely was pretty good. I kind of had to pull back the reins a bit after his last fight against De Freitas. I thought he would be able to, just absolutely control that guy on the ground and take an easy win. And it was not an easy win. It was fairly close. In this fight, I think he's better. I just don't think Anthony Birchak is that good. Gravely's probably going to get a ton of takedowns. I think he can not get subbed from Birchak's guard. Might be a boring fight. The pick is Gravely, but I don't know. I got some red flags with that guy. He's not as good as I had hoped he was, and at 325, it's a bit scary to lay.
Wes?
Yeah, I do think Gravely's better at this point. Sean's right, though. There is some red flags about the guy, but I think he can get takedowns here. I don't think much of Birchak anymore. This guy hasn't really looked great in forever, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can lay that juice on Gravely here though, but him by decision is like plus 230 or something around there. I could see him just grinding on Birchak on the mat, getting takedowns each round and just kind of doing that for 15 minutes. So if I play anything, it'll probably be Gravely by decision, but I haven't made any bets on this fight. Gravely's the pick.
I'm leaning the same way as Wes in this one. Birchak's always been that kind of guy that sort of brings violence early in fights. And if he doesn't get guys out of there early on, then he's kind of in trouble. The last fight in the UFC was kind of the outlier. I'm not sure, other than that one and when he got like heel hooked by Ian Entwistle in like 6 seconds, how many times he's really gotten blown out of fights early. So I can see him coming out and trying to throw some stuff and having some success early because Gravely, I don't think he's great. But even though Birchak's like a Arizona State wrestler or wherever he ended up wrestling, I think he was with like Kane and a bunch of those dudes and Bader when they were all at ASU. Like his MMA wrestling, not great. He ends up getting taken down a lot. I think that Gravely's going to end up on top of him a bunch in this fight. Not really sold on Gravely's finishing ability, so getting plus 240, plus 250 on the guy who was the very likely winner, I like that by decision. So might end up throwing that in a little round robin. But Tony Gravely is the pick. They're both Tonys in this one. Very confusing.
Tony
very confusing. Tony. Next up, we got lightweight division. Tell me which of these nicknames is worse. Austin Thud Hubbard or Dakota Harry Bush? Sean?
The Bush. I mean, it's
Sir, his father's name was Harold. His grandfather's name was Harold. His great-grandfather's name was Harold. He's just paying homage to the family. How could you say something like that?
Paying respect. I might have to change my answer then if it's an homage to his fathers and his father's father. Hubbard's is decent. He kind of reminds me a bit of Brian Barberina when he was kind of overcoming a bit. He's fairly durable, takes some shit early, might get taken down a bit, but he's gonna make you work for it if you do get takedowns, and he just continually makes you work. So if you better have a good fucking cardio if you're gonna take out him, or you got to just finish him early, which not that many people have been able to do. I think he can just kind of wear down Dakota Bush and end up either finishing late, a tired out Bush, or get a decision. I put Hubbard in a parlay with Usman next week at -106 for a unit, and I sprinkled 0.2 units on Hubbard round 3 at +1800.
Wes?
Yeah, I give Hubbard a good shot late in this fight over a beat up Bush, kind of wearing down. Sean I kind of agree with a lot of what he said there. Bush is probably got to get him out of there early. A lot of his wins have come in the first round when he's gotten guys out of there. I'm just not sure Hubbard is one of those guys that he's been finishing like that. He's tough, man, and he's going to put a pace on him. So if this gets into the second and third round, I think Hubbard can take over. He's going to be my pick here. I haven't bet anything on Hubbard. That round 3 is actually kind of nice. I could absolutely see Hubbard getting some kind of late finish in this fight if it gets to that point. So I might look at that, but no bet. Hubbard is the pick.
Yeah, normally I'd be all over the round 3, but Hubbard has been out wrestled in all of his fights. He won 2 fights in the UFC. One was against a Canadian guy, so doesn't count, obviously. And then the other was against a dude that came in on 6 days' notice who gassed out completely and quit on the stool. So as much as people want to act like he was beating the shit out of Max Roshkov in that fight, and that's what made Roshkov quit, he won the second round. It wasn't even a 10-8 round. That dude was just a quitter. So I definitely don't think Hubbard gets the finish here unless Bush is also a complete quitter. And I definitely think Bush is going to win the first round. So if you want to bet Hubbard here, maybe wait. See if you can get something live after the first round, because you might get even or you might get a little bit of plus money. I definitely see the argument for Hubbard coming back and winning rounds 2 and 3, but I could also see him getting finished early in the first, because Bush is a better athlete. He's more dynamic. I can't really trust anything here, so I'm going to end up staying away from it. Even when a plus 1800, which is Hubbard round 3, doesn't appeal to me, then that's probably saying something. This dude is one of those guys that his toughness is his best attribute, and I don't think he's all that good outside of it. Moving up to the middleweight division, we got the fabulous Bartinski taking on a Meerschaert, a middleweight against a welterweight, and the welterweight is definitely going to out-wrestle the middleweight. But then what happens, Wes?
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning though Fabiński here. I do think this is just gonna end up being some sloppy shit, and I guess it's who can get that takedown and be on top more in this fight. I just think Fabiński can keep a better pace than Meerschaert at this point. I think Meerschaert's going to fade in this fight. That's if like Fabiński doesn't have like some kind of great power or anything, man. But I mean, is Meerschaert's chin just absolutely shattered at this point? Like
he got knocked out by the goat, man. Come on.
But he got fucked up by Heinisch, and yeah, I give him the goat. I'll give you the greatest of all time. That's just there's no shame in that. But yeah, I think it's more that Meerschaert's gonna fade in this fight, and I know Fabiński's gonna be pushing it for 15 minutes here. I think he could win the second and third round and probably get a decision here. So I'm gonna pick him. Trying to talk myself into a bet on him. I'm not sure I can trust any money on either of these moves here. So no bet as of right now. But if I play anything, it's going to be Fabiński.
Sean?
This fight screams pass for me anyway. There's just lots of red flags. You got Fabiński coming up. Like you said, Brad, he's probably still going to be able to take down Meerschaert. If he does, then he also likes to be subbed from guard. If he doesn't take him down, then
Meerschaert's the way better striker.
And he's the way better striker, but Fabiński can
terrible
fucking wing something and hit that chin and it's over. Like, this is an absolute just fucking stay away and watch and hope something fun happens. I'll pick Fabiński, I guess. Like, this is the definition of a coin flip. I'll be very curious to see how this ends up, because very dumb MMA shit could happen very easily in this fight.
Yeah. Plot twist. Meerschaert comes out and he's just the bigger man, and he muscles out of those takedown attempts and keeps standing, piecing them up, and then gets knocked out.
Then gets flatlined.
Flatlined. Absolutely flatlined for the third fight in a row.
Yeah, I can't bet this one. Like, if you're gonna bet it, I guess take a shot on the plus money where you can find it. Or you can do like Fabiński decision or Meerschaert subs, like plus 225, I think I saw. Those are probably the two ways it happens, but honestly, man, I don't trust anything here. I hope that it's going to be fun. I think it's probably going to suck. But hey, what can you do? It's a UFC prelim in 2021. Speaking of UFC prelims in 2021, we got Jessica Pasta Penne, and she is past a prime too. If you know what I'm talking about, taking on Lupita Godinez. But before we break down this fight, I just got to make sure that Lupita's done cleaning the kitchen before I let her fly to Vegas to fight. Hey, Lupita, you good? Okay.
Oh my god.
¿Cómo estás? Yeah.
No, he did not home. No.
And this is a fight, Sean.
Penne was looking watched in 2017, and she hasn't fought since. So I can only imagine how bad she's going to look. The flip side is there's a Canadian, and she's like a minus 250 favorite as a fucking debuting fighter. So this is just going to be stay away. I'll pick the Canadian to win, but there's no chance in hell I would ever have money on on this situation.
Wes?
I'm going to pick the dog in Toutmaster because it's a women's fight. And
That's what you do.
I want my money nowhere near this.
All right. Nobody ever gets suspended for 4 years unless you're doing some real shit. So Jessica Penne is going to
look at her.
show.
She's doing the good.
She's going to show up. She's been taking the super soldier serum for like 3 straight years. She's going to show up and just like toss this chick out of the cage.
She's been in the same area that O'Dano's been at, ain't she? They're like training together or some shit.
That's right. Yeah. So, man, this Godiva chick is -3 whatever favorite based on no hyperbole here, beating the shit out of a stripper. She did that on LFA. She beat the shit out of the stripper. Now she's a -300 favorite on a UFC card. If you want to bet that, you can. I'm also not betting Jessica Penne because it's Jessica Penne. But this is, another one to dog walk. Could be dog walk time before we get to the real stuff. And
stop being a sexist, bro.
Man, the way they've organized these prelims makes me so mad.
Yeah.
Because after this one, we have an incredible heavyweight fight. Exactly. And then just classic heavyweight subs only. Key locks, straight arm bars, scarf holds, forearm chokes, maybe. If we see another no hooks rear naked choke in this one, would anybody be shocked? Alexander Romanov, the dynasty, taking on Juan Espino. Wes, try and break this one down, man. This is a thing.
Yeah. I think most people think this is just going to be 2 big dudes that are kind of going to stand up and maybe do a lot of nothing for a little bit. I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping I'm seeing a little staring and some circling in this fight because I think most people know where we're going in this spot. And I will be taking a little of that fatties. We got a true 1.5 here on some big boys that are big in all the right places that you need for a fatty's gonna fatty. Also I like Romanov in this spot, man. I think Romanov is good. Like this is a pretty good test for him to see because Espino's not bad. He is getting up there even for heavyweights. He's 40 now. He's probably still got 6 or 7 years. Don't get me wrong.
Absolutely,
he is a heavyweight, but Romanov's 30, man. He's 10 years younger than this guy. I do think if it does get to the mat, that it's gonna be Romanov on top and threatening with some of those crazy chokes the guy does seem to have. So I like fatties a little more in this spot. I will be betting that over 1.5, and I'm probably going to put a small bet on Romanov because I think the guys could be pretty good. So Romanov for me.
Sean,
I'm one of those people that think this is going to be a shitty heavyweight kickboxing fight when neither of these guys can get each other down, or they get them down and they get up again pretty quickly, and then we're going to get sloppy. And Espino by TKO, he has like 1 TKO win. Was plus 700. They're fat. Somebody can get knocked out.
No, Espino's not knocking anybody out, bro.
Man, it could happen. If this gets shitty kickboxing, heavyweight fatties, pushing late into the second round, you never know. It's hard to know how good either of these guys are because they've done what they're supposed to do against shitty heavyweights. I don't know what you can take from that. Romanov is younger. I'll pick the old man. He's old, but he has not fought much. He's got some skills. I think Romanov's got that Ov in his name. He might be getting a little too hyped up.
I think he's definitely getting a little too hyped up. it's one thing to take down Rocky Martinez a whole bunch and land a bunch of hammer fists from him. Yeah, you just need to make him change directions and he falls over. So that's one thing. And yeah, the fact that he was able to keep up that pace and, land a bunch of ground and pound and eventually get the sub, sure, fine. That's whatever. The fight against De Lima, that one really did not inspire confidence. Came out, shot an early takedown off a kick and got it. Didn't really end up doing much with it. And then he really stalled out trying to get takedowns against De Lima. As soon as De Lima got any sort of underhook in the clinch, Romanov's wrestling was kind of useless. Wes, he doesn't get the stoppage. You don't have to be too worried.
Fucking Brad.
I gave it enough time that it would be close to the end of the round anyway.
Shit.
But yeah, that was how to wrestle. So I think he's going to be able to shut down Romanov's takedowns at least early. And neither of these guys really knows how to strike. Espino has a big reach advantage. Romanov, the only thing I've seen out of him, he throws a decent body kick in some of his fights. Didn't mean anything against Roque Martinez, because how are you going to get through all that shit? That dude's the patron saint of T-shirt in the pool. So, yeah, I kind of think that this is going to stall out in the clinch, stall out on the feet. We're going to get some fatties. And I also, in addition to the fatties bet, minus 120 over 1.5, I've got a little bit on Romanov by decision at plus 550, because I think that line's just a little bit out of whack on this one. And I think he's going to start to get top position later in the fight. But Espino knows how to grapple, unlike the other dudes that he's fought. So I don't think he's going to be able to get a forearm choke or something silly like that.
He's a really good wrestler too. Espino is.
Exactly. So that's why I think he's going to be able to stall out those takedown attempts. Featured prelim? Question mark. Flyweight division.
Second dog walk? Question mark.
Honestly, I might have to just go on a dog walk, but take my iPad with me, hotspot from my phone to my iPad for the Fatties fight, and then turn it back off for the rest of the dog walk until we get back. So we'll see. But
half dog walk.
that's normal for me. That's what we do. How do you think I stay so slim and trim, Sean? Flyweight division, Tracy Cortez. Did she miss weight too?
Yeah,
I heard that she missed weight.
Yeah,
they ended up canceling. They ended up canceling that one fight, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we didn't even
talk about that. That's not a real fight.
So, they was 19 pounds over or some shit like that.
She was getting to rumble weight territory in that one.
Well, everybody thought that was gonna be a bantamweight fight, and then all of a sudden, oh no, comes out and it's a catchweight fight. Even though she missed that by 8 pounds,
yeah.
So she would have lost she would have missed by 11 pounds bantamweight. Instead, she just missed 8 pounds of the catchweight. Fuck. Oh, peak MMA, good stuff.
Absolutely, but we have Tracy Cortez taking on Justine Kish, who is apparently still in the UFC in 2021. Wes?
Tracy Cortez is actually decent.
She can wrestle a bit.
Kish sucks. She can't wrestle. She's probably going to be on her back a lot in this fight. Do I want to lay minus 300 on a chick fight? Absolutely not. I'll pick Cortez, and that's all I got.
Sean?
I really don't have anything. I was trying to angle. I was should Kish be this big of an underdog? And probably. The chick's dropping down in weight. She missed weight. She's still going to be bigger. She's going to out-grapple Kish. Supposedly that's what Kish was supposed to be good at, but except she's not good at it. So,
oh my god,
Cortez should win this fight.
Kish is also not good at striking. There's that. Cortez.
So Corey Anderson isn't bad when he doesn't get knocked the fuck out. You know,
Turns out
he's not bad.
Also, when he's fighting a guy that's probably a middleweight.
Also, yeah, not everyone that is Russian can wrestle.
The middleweight actually kicked him in his neck in the first round too, and about knocked him out.
Dancing. He was dancing.
Yep.
Yeah, I've got Cortez in this one. I think I've got like a weird parlay of Cortez by decision, somebody in the first round to be named later, and somebody else by decision to be named later, just because I don't have a lot of bets on this card, so threw some wacky shit together. Justine Kish's career is really down in the dumps these days, so you got to watch out for what's coming out there. And there's just going to be takedowns, a bunch of takedowns. Cortez actually seems to know how to set up shots, which is probably confusing to her opponents because they've never seen that before. She takes decent Instagram photos as well, so she's got that going for her, which is probably why this is minus 300. But I don't think it's all that wrong. Moving up to the main card, in the lightweight division, we have, oh my God, this guy's so tall, Luis Peña. Sean, I'm sure you're a fan of him, taking on Alex Munoz. So
he's tall and does the pots. I'm sure Sean's a fan.
I'll let you start off and defend your tall guy in this fight.
I may have been one of those that got sucked in by the cool nickname, the hair, and all that fun stuff. But it's already been a while since that has happened. I was able to cash late on old Comma Worthy last time. Bob Ross just not that good. His grappling is not that good, and especially when he's on the bottom. And I think that's where he's going to end up in this fight. Munoz is a good wrestler. I know he didn't have much success against Haqparast, but Luis Peña has much worse takedown defense than Haqparast.
Haqparast is actually good.
Yeah, he's actually a good fighter.
Really good.
Yeah, so I mean that's not a bad loss, especially on short notice for Munoz. I think he can take down Luis Peña. I don't think he's going to get caught, and I think he's going to win a pretty easy decision here. I just played him by decision. I might add tomorrow or tonight just a straight play in him, just because I probably should have straight money on him just in case something dumb happens. I got plus 285 on the decision. I put a unit on that. I think this is just a really bad stylistic matchup for Bob Ross. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he can keep it on the feet, but I just don't see it happening.
Wes?
No, he can't keep it on the feet. It's just, and then when he's on the mat, on the back, he goes for all these subs and he's never gonna land any of this stuff, man. It's all soft shit that the guy doesn't
make him tired. He'll put up low percentage shit,
and instead of working to get back up.
And a decent wrestler is going to be able to fight through that stuff and keep position.
Yeah, and instead of using that energy to try to work himself back up, get an underhook, try to reverse, he goes for dumbass subs and uses all of his energy up. He's not great on the feet. He got overhyped, man. Like he really did. I think Munoz ran into a really good fighter on short notice for his UFC debut. I think that's the big thing here. Like, Haqparast is fucking good. That guy's a really good fighter. This dude's going to wrestle Peña up, man. I'm just taking him straight. Plus 130, right around there. Probably sprinkle on that decision, too. I think Peña's probably he doesn't get finished a lot. I don't think he's going to get caught in some kind of sub or something. So, I do like that decision. Probably that's a good number. But Munoz is the play for sure.
Yeah, I saw one of our Aussie listeners in the crowd, and Mark, I know you're a beer fan, so just so you're aware, I'm drinking a Walkerville Easy Stout right now, which is quite delicious.
I'm drinking piss.
You're always drinking piss. I mean,
Sure.
You're still in your teens. You know, you're looking to buy your first house.
Right.
It's acceptable. You got to save money for these things before you can get to these levels. As far as this fight goes, I mean, you guys already said it. Peña can't wrestle. This dude got out wrestled by Steven Peterson. That dude is a bantamweight with like the greatest chin ever, who's just like, yeah, sure, I can not cut weight and get the shit beat out of me by all these featherweights. That's fine. Peña got out wrestled by him. Peña got out wrestled by Matt Frivola. Peña got out wrestled by Steve Garcia. Peña gets out wrestled by just about everybody who isn't Kama Worthy. And even when he is able to out wrestle Kama Worthy, he gets subbed by Kama Worthy. So when grappling and top position is your best attribute, and you can't do it because you're fighting guys that are better wrestlers than you, I don't like your chances. Like Munoz isn't great on the feet, but he took so much shit in that Hack-Parass fight, and he was able to not really get rocked or phased by any of it. Like, he was still trying throughout that fight, even though he was getting his ass beat. And Peña, like, he can't really counter-strike. He doesn't really throw a jab. He looks like he's a big, long fighter, but he doesn't do any of the things that big, long fighters do. So I think Munoz gets takedowns, wins the decision. Sean, that plus 285 decision line is excellent. I got plus 250. I think the round robin is forming up with maybe just decision props, because, you know, that Munoz decision plus 250, Gravely decision, Romanov decision. Maybe I'll have to find one other one to sneak in there, but we'll see.
Oh Lord,
it's going to be a lot of decision props in the round robin this week. But I like Alexander Munoz. You know, we didn't even talk about how he's like a wrestling coach or whatever at Team Alpha Male, or a Team Alpha person, whatever they're calling themselves these days. But yeah, Munoz gets takedowns. I think he wins a decision. So Alexander Munoz is the consensus bet of the week. Plus 132 at Dimes, plus 129 at Bet Online. I think those are probably the best two that are out there that are widely available. So that is what we are looking at, folks. Moving on up. And, you know, I just mentioned one of our Aussie listeners, and someone from that region who doesn't deserve to be on a UFC main card in any way, shape, or form is Jacob Malkoun. But hey, whoever is writing Robert Whittaker's contracts and getting these dudes signed as the, like, Conor McGregor, Cathal Pendred add-ons, good for you, man. You're doing your job. You're getting paid on multiple angles on the same card. So, yeah, but he's not ready for this, and he's fighting an angry man who is probably going to knock him out in the first round. Wes?
Yeah, Alhassan is going to knock this guy out. Probably in the first round. I wish the KO number hadn't got as juicy as it has. It's probably still worth it. I know somebody else has got a way better line that I would have definitely played if I would have got it. I might still put a small bet on it, but Alhassan KO for sure.
Sean?
Yeah, Whittaker's quite the philanthropist, getting this guy paid.
Hey, I was gonna say, Izzy's gone into the philanthropy business too. He's gotten a couple of guys from wherever the fuck.
That's those socialists, I tell you, in New Zealand and in Australia. Yeah, that TKO line is quite dumb. I mean, if you're gonna line Alhassan as a minus 290 favorite, and
It
you
should be
still
like the
only
same,
have
right?
you
Like
have
right around the
TKO at
same.
minus 155. Like Alhassan has never won when the fight has got out of the first round. I think if he's smart, he uses his way to win. Doesn't try to like pace himself. Just go run through this guy. He has the capabilities. This guy is there to be hit. He should win in round one. I wanted to be a little safer. Maybe he gets his first round two finish, just in case. So I took him TKO at minus 135 for a unit. He should truck this guy. If the Aussie can get outside of the first round, maybe it gets scary. Maybe he can take down
Oh,
Alhassan.
stop.
But I don't think that's gonna happen. The jiu-jitsu coach of Robert Whittaker versus Alhassan is in an MMA fight seems pretty lopsided to me.
Is he actually the jiu-jitsu coach, or is he just like a jiu-jitsu
I
training
think
partner?
He's one of those guys that's like, he is an MMA fighter, but
he's in the gym and
jiu-jitsu.
he does jiu-jitsu.
At the gym that Whittaker trains at, he coaches little kids jiu-jitsu. I don't fucking know.
Gotcha.
He's one of the body bags for Robert Whittaker. Let's never forget those things.
Yeah, he also looked like he had been hit with a real punch for the first time in that Phil Haas fight. Because he got hit and he was like, oh shit, I don't like this. Please get me out of here. And honestly, like, Hogs is a bit bigger than Alhassan, but he's not as good a puncher. So I think this is going to go just as poorly for Malkoun. He is going to get clipped early in this one, and I've never seen anything from him to show me that he can bounce back from that. Never seen any wrestling. Haven't actually seen what he looks like when he grapples somebody or tries to take down somebody that knows how to defend a takedown. And even when Alhassan gets tired, like, he's not completely useless. He's still pretty decent at stopping guys from taking him down. He just doesn't have any volume. So if he doesn't get it done in round one, this is going to be very, very ugly. But I think he does. There's no reason to think that he doesn't. So took a little bit of plus 130 on Alhassan round one, but not a big bet here because moving up in weight classes, getting older, not a great fighter to begin with. A lot of factors going into this one. Next up, heavyweight division, we have Chase Sherman, dude who lost in bare knuckle boxing to Joey Beltran in 2019, taking on former UFC heavyweight champion, because you gotta say it every time he fights, Andre Arlovski. And honestly, like, Sherman's only a step or two down from the dudes that Arlovski was fighting during his title run. Like Justin Eilers, Paul Buentello, Chase Sherman. All those dudes kind of fit together. Sean, what do we got going on?
That was like, what, 21 years ago?
That was like 16, 17 years ago. All right, let's chill a little bit. I know you were still in diapers.
I was like a baby. I was a baby back then.
I'm like ancient. It's so fucked up.
Dude, one of the best knockouts ever is still like the Arlovski overhand right on Buentello, and then Buentello is just like a dead body on top of him, falling over. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was quite good, but that was a long, long time ago.
Was it?
Arlovski, he does this thing where he hypnotizes shitty fighters into having close fights. I think Chase Sherman's going to push a pace on Arlovski. He's going to force things to happen. A lot of guys don't do that in Arlovski's fights. I think Chase Sherman is shitty enough to do that. He's going to force it. Arlovski is not good. That chin is not good. Chase Sherman is not that good. But Chase Sherman does throw a bunch of strikes. I think he's going to force an action fight with Andre Arlovski. He's coming in on late notice. I think Chase Sherman is going to knockout Arlovski. Plus 250, half a unit. It's something. It's barely a bet. It's something. I think it could happen. Arlovski's time has come. He somehow does better against guys we think should trash him. So now he's down at the trash level, and we're gonna see how trashy he is.
Do you honestly think there's any difference between short notice Arlovski these days and full camp Arlovski?
Yeah, he probably's taking a little bit less damage when it's on short notice.
In sparring?
Because he's not actually training for a real fight.
He's going to come in the exact same weight, look the exact same. It's incredible. Wes?
Yeah, I think we see one of those fucking same old Arlovski fights. I don't think Chase Sherman is even good enough to get 42-year-old Arlovski out of there. I mean, I guess the chin's bad, but is it? Like, a lot of the time it's not. Like, yeah, I don't think much of Chase Sherman, man. Brad's right. Like, the dude got beat by Joey fucking Beltran in bare knuckle. Like, give me Arlovski over Beltran any fucking day, man. I think Arlovski could get another one of those kind of shitty decisions. I think there's going to be some moments early to where Sherman's going to try to push a pace maybe, but Arlovski's really good, man. At well, not really good at this point, but he moves, man, and guys he doesn't seem to take as many of those big blows, man. That we'll see, man. It's still Arlovski. I think this is just more of a fade of Sherman for me, and it's nothing big. I just think Arlovski could get one of those shitty decisions here against a pretty shitty guy. So I'm going to take a little bit of Arlovski. I think he wins by decision here. Nothing big because, of course, Chase Sherman could catch him with something, and that chin does one of those things where it doesn't hold up. I'm going to bank that it does, and Arlovski gets a shitty decision.
Personally, I think Sean's on the wrong prop line for Sherman if he's going to win. I think if Sherman wins, he wins a decision. He wins based on volume. Because in the last decade, the guys to knock out Arlovski are Rosenstruck, the good black Jew. You've got Haganu, the champ. Barnett subbed him, so didn't knock him out. Sherman's not subbing Arlovski. Like, get out of here with that shit. Overeem and Stipe. Like, Chase Sherman is not like those four dudes. Chase Sherman does not have a lot of power. Even when you go back before that, like Sergey Karatanov, way better boxer, way more power than Chase Sherman. Even Brett Rogers, way more power than Chase Sherman. Fedor, like all the dudes that have ever knocked out Andrei Arlovski are miles above Chase Sherman. I do not see Sherman getting a knocked out here. Maybe he can win a decision. Maybe he can just volume Arlovski up. But Sean also made the great point that Arlovski hypnotizes these dudes into fighting his fight. He knows how to win rounds. He knows what the judges are looking for. And Chase Sherman sucks, man. He's not good at MMA. People are like, oh, look at the way he came out and he was on steroids and he beat up this fat middleweight, Ike Villanueva. Man, that's so impressive. He's definitely going to be the heavyweight. I just don't see it. I think that Arlovski is like Sherman is so reckless coming forward that Arlovski might actually knock him out because Chase Sherman does not have a good chin either. And he puts himself right in danger every time he comes in and throws a bunch of those forward winging combinations to try and land that volume. I could see Arlovski getting his first knockout since like the dinosaurs roamed the earth, because it's been a long ass time since he's done that. So I like Arlovski here, and this price keeps creeping down.
Is it a trap, Brad? It looks like a trap line.
I don't know what that means. I just know that the way better fighter is basically even money to the way worse fighter, even if the way better fighter is 48 years old or whatever Arlovski is. Is that a trap? Is it?
Yeah, it seems too low. Like you would think Arlovski, based on who he's fought and who Chase Sherman fought, that Arlovski probably should be, minus 150, minus 170, something like that. Seems like
who's the worst guy that Arlovski has ever lost to? Like maybe Brett Rogers, but more likely
that was a long time ago. He lost to Tai Tuivasa.
Tai to like his losing streak, where everyone's like, "Oh man, he's done for sure this time." This decade he's done. Was Tuivasa, Abdurakhimov, Augusto Sakai.
Those are pretty bad.
You know who else lost to Abdurakhimov in the first round? He got finished. Who lost to Augusto Sakai in the third round? He got finished. Chase Sherman.
So he's on the same level, is what you're trying to say. They're both.
No, he's worse.
Close.
He's obviously worse. He's getting finished by these heavyweight schlubs that couldn't finish the broken down version of Andrei Arlovski. So, I mean, I gotta think that Arlovski can pull this one off. It's probably going to be an ugly decision, but I'm praying that Arlovski gets that knockout. Maybe that'll be the one, like the round robin that isn't a decision, is Arlovski by KO. Co-main event, lightweight division. We have the Cologne man, Drakar Noir Klose, taking on Jeremy Stephens. Dana got him out of prison on the night of the fights for this one, baby. He's ready. He's good to go. Tonight. The fights still happen. Wes, what do we got here? This is actually like, these dudes are coming off losses and all sorts of shit, but it's a pretty decent fight.
Yeah, I think they're gonna throw down, and in a fight that I think is gonna play out like that. That's probably gonna be a firefight. I like Stephens. I think he's the bigger puncher. Not that, like, look, I do think his like power got kind of overrated over the past few years. Like people just thought he was some crazy power. He doesn't have that necessarily. But I think he's got the kind of power that can hurt a chin like Klose's here. I mean, we've seen him been tagged up, and I just think that in a fight that's going to be two dudes throwing bombs, man. I like Stephens in that kind of fight. I took a little bit of Stephens. I think he's probably going to get Klose out of there at some point. Like I said, we've seen Klose get hit and finished here lately, and I didn't go back and do any tape study, but I believe that our boy Giagos had him in some bad spots too in their fight, and that fight was fairly close. I know
closer than it should have been.
Yeah, Klose ended up getting a fight because I bet him.
Saying close way too many times, I get confused. Yeah. Use a different word.
But yeah, I had him in that fight and was worried at different parts of that fight. So I like Stephens here. I think Stephens probably gets him out of there. I'm just gonna play him straight. So yeah, Stephens by KO.
Sean?
It's a stay away fight for me. I could kind of see this going either way. Stephens coming up in weight, it's a bit puzzling. I mean, he's been doing this a long time. I know the weight cuts are death for him, so I guess this is the time when he gets older in his career. But he has been getting beat up pretty good in the last couple fights.
against
not the
guys that are
greatest.
not this good.
Those guys are very, very good. That is the difference. So he's fighting fairly elite featherweights and getting pieced up a bit. I don't think Klose is that good, but I mean, Klose had Dariush on skates for a bit. Like Klose has some skills, and he is the much more natural lightweight. I think this should be a pretty fun stand-up fight. Stevens does have pretty good power. We'll see how it translates back to 155. Klose can be hit, as we've seen, but Stevens can be hit too. So I think this is going to be a fun one. I'll pick Stevens, but no play for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the last Stevens fight. Well, I guess the answer is kind of obvious. The last Stevens fight where he was actually consistently winning the fight throughout. And it was the Melendez fight, because at that point, Melendez was just a garbage can shell of himself.
Was the Emmett fight close before he killed him?
I thought Emmett dropped him in the first round, didn't he? Emmett was winning that fight, I think.
And then he got murdered.
And then he got absolutely murdered. No question about it. But that's kind of the scary thing if you're backing Stevens for me in this fight, is that, yeah, he's got that power. And, he had a couple of, obviously the Pez dispenser knockout of RDA back in the day is a great highlight. But I think his power is kind of overblown at 155.
We kind of talked about that a lot.
We've talked about it before. And when he went down to 145, I think that made a big difference in what he was able to deliver and the way guys felt it. I think coming back up to 155, he's probably going to be able to absorb damage a little bit better. But I'm not sure that he's going to have the same effect on his opponents. So Klose is going to come forward. He's going to throw calf kicks and bullshit like that that I hate, and get into the clinch and probably try and stall Stevens out a little bit. And I think he's going to be able to have success doing it. I don't think that Stevens is going to just be able to bully him around physically. So I kind of lean towards Klose. I just think he's a better round winner in terms of how these two guys play out. Stevens still has the bigger potential to actually finish the fight, but I'm not sure I want to bank on that in this spot. So this line has moved around a whole bunch. It's basically even right now. I don't have a strong lean either way, because obviously Klose got smoked in his last fight after he rocked Dariush. So maybe Stevens can do something similar, because we've seen him get comebacks in the past, but I'm not going to bank on that with Stevens as the favorite. And the close decision line is only plus 200-ish, which isn't a great line for me. So I'm just kind of staying away from this one. I hope it's fun. I hope it's much more of a Jeremy Stevens fight than a Drakkar Klose fight, because those are much more entertaining. And finally, main event, middleweight division. We have the patron. No. He's like the junior monk of the t-shirt in the pool division. Kelvin Gastelum, Kelvin Fastelum, still at middleweight for some reason, taking on a guy who moved up from welterweight to middleweight and actually put on muscle to make himself a middleweight, Robert Whittaker. This is a good fight. It was supposed to happen before, apparently. Whittaker had a hole in his stomach, or one of those weird things that Aussies get, because they're not as tough as us Northern Hemisphere folk. But it should be fun. Sean, get us started here.
Yeah, I've been fading Whittaker since that Adesanya fight. It's obviously not been working out too well.
Yep.
So why would I stop now? I'm going to continue losing money, because I do think those wars that he took with Romero will add up one day. That absolutely vicious knockout by Adesanya it's adding up. He's taken a lot of damage. the guys that he fought were not able to capitalize on that, obviously. I've always thought Gastelum's good. I know a lot of people will say, you know, he went on that run knocking out a bunch of old guys, which he did. The one outlier there is he fought a very, very close fight with Adesanya. So
I thought you were going to say he got subbed by Chris Weidman.
That happened in there too, but we're not going to talk about that, Brad. So the question is, was that just his one performance that he could pull out of his ass, his most elite performance against Adesanya? Or does he have that into him? I think he kind of fights to his competition recently. I thought he really fucked up against Jack Hermanson, fucking around on the ground with that guy when you have such an advantage everywhere else. I mean, shit can happen in MMA. I think this is going to be a close fight. Whittaker could shoot some takedowns. He doesn't really do it that often. Gastelum, like you said, is not a real middleweight. He does get taken down at times, but for the most part, he gets up decently. He doesn't really lay on his back too much unless you're a very elite grappler. I think this is going to be a stand-up fight, and Gastelum's still a good stand-up fighter, and I still question that Whittaker chin after all those wars. So I think Gastelum kind of bypasses the line and might even get a rematch with Adesanya if he's able to knock out Whittaker, which is crazy to think because he's lost 2 of his last 3 fights. But he could do it. So I like Gastelum here. I got him at plus 225 for a unit and a half, and I got him by TKO at plus 610 for a quarter of a unit. I think he can knock out Bobby Knuckles.
I think that TKO line, if you're going Gastelum, is the way. And just to give you guys an update on Bellator, Phil Davis is so glossy halfway through the second round that he looks like he's Tyron Woodley 30 seconds into a fight.
Tyron Woodley, what he's got?
Did that guy jump out of a pool?
He looks like Woodley with his dick halfway.
Sweating on the way to the hospital after.
I'm telling you, man, looks like he just got out of a bodybuilding competition. He's literally
just sprayed down with oil.
Man, he's shining.
It's like one of those old UFC promos where, like, "Hey, dude, get in the spritzer and shower box, man." Wes, what do you got on the main event here?
Nemkov's pretty good, man.
Like, I'm talking about the UFC main event. Nemkov is pretty good, but
I don't have.
You got a minute or two to talk.
I don't have much to add. What Sean said. It's kind of all spot on. Yeah, I think Gas's loss is like the Hermanson loss. It's just him doing dumb shit. So not focused in the fight. Sean made a good point that it seems like Gastelum fights down and up to his competition. I'm hoping that that's the case here. He fights up to his competition against Whittaker. I agree on Whittaker's the damage he's taken too, man. It's gonna catch up eventually. I think this is a really, really close fight. I could see either guy winning here. I'm more playing a line. I think it's just kind of high, especially the TKO line. And I think Whittaker wins this fight more often than not. But if you're getting plus 600 on a Gastelum KO here, he could absolutely catch Whittaker and get him out of there at some point. So I'm going to take a little of that. I'm playing Gastelum straight as well. Would I be shocked if Whittaker wins a decision here? Absolutely not. But I just think it's really close. So more of a line play. Going to pick Gastelum and Outmaster. But we'll see. It's a really close fight.
I get where you guys are going with this. I can see it. Gastelum's always been talented. He's always had heavy hands. He's knocked down a lot of guys, even when he's gone up to middleweight. But I don't see it in this fight. I think that anytime he's come up against somebody who can sort of match his speed, which I think Whittaker can, or a guy that can kind of play on the outside and dissuade him from lunging in and throwing the combinations that he usually needs to throw distance, which I also think Whittaker can, that he really struggles. We saw that in, going back to the Magny fight at welterweight. The Weidman one was different because, he just got out-wrestled by a bigger dude in that one. But Adesanya Till saw the same sort of thing, and I just think that Whittaker is going to have a way better command of the range in this fight. He's kind of the same thing where when there's a really long guy in front of him, he gets a little bit more hesitant. But you look at what he did against somebody like Penne, who is, kind of built the same as Gastelum, but like if all of Gastelum's fat was turned into muscle, that's Penne.
It's quite the transformation.
Penne is not the man that Gas is at this point, though. That was proven. He's just not that dude.
I think that's fair. I'm just talking more about like body types here, and man, I just don't see Gastelum being able to close the distance and land the stuff that he needs to land on Whittaker. And then obviously in his last fight, a little bit of a different scenario. He resorted to the wrestling against Heinisch, which was, kind of surprising to me, but a great game plan from his perspective. So, and worked out for him. But if Yoel Romero can't out wrestle Robert Whittaker, Kelvin Gastelum's not going to be able to out wrestle Robert Whittaker. So I just think that Whittaker is going to control a lot of this fight. Gastelum might have his moments, and if he wins, it is going to be a moment, and it's probably going to be that plus 610 line that Sean's got. But I have a struggle. I struggle to see it. I think that Whittaker's jab and his range is going to control this one. If it does turn into grappling, maybe Gastelum shoots takedown. Whittaker can easily scramble out. So I've got Whittaker taking a decision here. I think it should be a fun fight because Gastelum's usually in fun fights. I think Gastelum's incredibly durable, and that's his biggest advantage. And if he just wants to walk into the fire and see what happens, probably his best shot here. But I don't see him doing that against a guy that has a good sense of range and control like Whittaker does. And Robert Whittaker is very, very good. And there's a lot of people that, think he's a super elite fighter. I'm not sure he's quite that level. But I think he's very much approaching that level. So I got Robert Whittaker taking a decision here. No real bet on this one. Maybe I'll instead to close out the round robin. Maybe I'll go with that Arlovski TKO prop. We'll see. We'll see if that can close it out. Get the old man knocking out Chase Sherman. But that is going to do it for our UFC Vegas 24 breakdown. Do we want to hang around? Well, we've got about 2 more rounds of this Davis Nemkov fight happening.
Well, I thought we were going to break down the biggest fight this weekend. We're not breaking down the Askren Jake Paul fight. That's going to be the biggest fight this weekend.
Sean, it's a boxing match. It's not a fight.
We don't do boxing. Right.
I'll put it out there. I have money on Jake Paul. I think there's somebody on the show that disagrees with that, but
you versus Lance, baby. Are we surprised that Lance has money on fucking Ben Askren?
I think Brad is likes Askren as well in this spot. Is that right? Yeah, I think that's right.
I'm not sure that I would go as far as saying I like Askren, but it's tough. Like have you guys have watched Jake Paul's boxing matches, right?
Yeah, I've seen all of it. Yeah.
You've seen him get tired beating the shit out of Nate Robinson, right?
Yeah.
You've seen him get tired beating the shit out of the other YouTube guy has never boxed before, right?
Yeah.
So if there's one thing we know for sure is going to happen in this fight, he is going to get tired, even if he's beating the shit out of Ben Askren. The difference between Ben Askren and those guys is that Ben Askren has taken a punch before. Like Jake,
he don't take them too well anymore. He don't take them too well,
doesn't he? Though,
no,
what has he been hurt by?
Well,
he got knocked out by a Masvidal flying knee, which was absolutely massive.
Yep.
He got hurt by Robbie Lawler.
Dropped on his head.
Yeah, I mean, but he's
dropped on his head and then came back and
stopped him.
Won the fight.
I'm just he's taken a lot of blows to the head, a lot of them. And more have we seen Ben Askren not throw a punch for the past decade? You know,
I don't even think he's gonna have to throw a real punch to win this fight.
He's just gonna make it dirty.
Like at some point, he is. I don't think he's gonna have any respect.
Well, I mean, the ref is probably gonna have like 30, 40 clinch separations around. Like,
absolutely.
It's gonna be, come on, break it up. Come on, break it up.
Mm-hmm. I was talking about that with our boy Rob from Montreal, the spicy Hungarian. Just saying that honestly, the way this fight plays out probably depends a ton on the ref. If he lets them work inside, then Askren is going to toss this dude around. Like it doesn't have to be full on wrestling and takedowns. But he's going to push the dude into corners. Yeah. He's going to land punches to the body, even if they're shitty Ben Askren punches. Paul's already going to be tired.
But he can't grab the guy and move him around like he would.
He doesn't have to grab him, though.
But
he just push forward.
Do you think isn't small?
Do you think Jake Paul has the footwork to be able to like cut angles and avoid Askren literally just walking forward and pushing him into a corner?
That's the thing. The dude is legitimately training for the past year with some of the best trainers on the planet. Like he's in some of the best boxing gyms around some of the best fighters on the planet. That's gonna mean something. Like, yes, I do think his footwork is gonna pay off. I do think he throws a better punch than Ben Askren at this point.
I don't disagree. He definitely throws a better punch than Ben Askren.
He hits hard. He legitimately hits hard. Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, every boxer that sparred with him says the kid hits fucking hard. So,
I mean, there's been MMA fighters that have sparred with him and be like, yeah, I bullied the shit out of that kid.
Yeah, but I mean, this has been in the past year. He hasn't trained with no. He's been in boxing gyms for the past year. He's been training with Freddie Roach and all kinds of motherfuckers, like legitimate guys.
Mm-hmm. I've been going back and forth on this one. I think regardless, like how this ends up going, I think people are going to be like, obviously it went this way. Either Paul knocks him out early and everybody's like, yeah, Ben Askren can't fucking strike and this guy has some power. Or Ben Askren is just going to muscle this dude around, tire him out and beat him up. And everybody's going to be like, yeah, that's what happens when a pro fighter, regardless if he's a wrestler. I think it's like either way. Like it's gonna be one way or the other. I'll probably just sprinkle a bit on the dog.
I don't think Askren can do that though. That's my whole point. Even if this goes long, I don't think it's Askren literally.
I don't know, man.
Bullying this kid that's bigger and stronger than him. Yes, Askren.
He's not stronger. He's bigger. I'll give him that. He didn't
look that good on the weigh-ins. He
is not stronger than Ben Askren.
I think he's stronger in a boxing in the confines of the rules of this. I think he's strong.
I don't know, man.
Like,
I
I
think we're
think
gonna see some
standing
dirty
upright-
fucking pushing around. Like
I
it's gonna be
hope
sloppy.
so.
This is gonna be
It
be
better,
like
like-
barstool fucking sports boxing,
No,
in my
but see,
opinion. And I don't
they're
think
gonna have
that
they're gonna have an actual ref there, and there's gonna be
I
a
know
lot
they'll
of
have a ref.
breaking up, break it up,
Mhm.
break it up, break it up.
But there's a
gonna
lot
be-
of shit that you can do in between those.
Yeah.
in
breakups.
between them.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it's fun. I love it. I can't wait to watch this shit.
I think the best scenario is that Askren does some wrestling shit and gets himself disqualified, and they do a rematch as MMA.
Yeah,
It'll
but see,
never
they
happen, Brad.
they came
It'll
out and
never
said that-
happen.
Yeah, it's in his contract, and he's making a lot of money. If he does anything like that, he loses it all. It's done.
That's fair.
And he's probably making more money in this fight than he's ever made.
Making 500 grand.
Yeah, in his entire
Disclosed pay
life.
is 500 grand, and then they're gonna sell an absolute shit ton of.
They will
pay-per-views,
sell
and he's
over
gonna
a-
get a bunch of money.
They'll
from the
sell over
pay-per-view.
$1 million. They'll sell over $1 million pay-per-views. There's something about these fucking kids with these YouTube guys, man. I don't understand.
Got a following, man.
I mean,
Got a
they've
following.
got their parents' credit cards hooked up to their YouTube accounts, so they just click and it happens. They don't feel the consequences.
I mean, I watch like some dudes that play video games for just strategy stuff, and some of these guys got like 4 million fucking YouTube subscribers and Twitch subscribers. They're literally making $10-15 million a year to play video games on YouTube and shit. It is
I
absolutely insane.
challenge any one of those fuckers
Mario Kart.
on Mario Kart, baby.
Gonna get smoked.
That's the
Almost.
real test. That's the
Yeah.
real test of a gamer. I'll beat
Oh,
that ass.
you got a 7 KD and 3,000 wins in Warzone. I don't give a fuck. Meet me on these Mario Kart streets, motherfucker.
Catch these tracks, baby.
Oh fuck.
Oh man,
Oh.
But yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be interesting.
I'm
honestly,
looking forward
if-
to it. I'm looking forward to it.
If Jake Paul wins, it's Jake Paul fighting, right? Not Logan.
Yeah, it's Jake.
I
Yeah.
can't tell the difference between the two
Who
fuckers.
cares? Who cares?
This
But
one's
if he-
better. This
if
one's
he
a
wins-
way better fighter.
It's honestly just like more of a payday for more washed up MMA fighters in the future. So
Frank Mir is fighting Steve Cunningham on this card and is getting a hell of a payday to do it. He's probably
Yeah.
gonna get a brain smashed in.
He's gonna get smacked.
Dude, they-
Cunningham's minus 2,500.
They opened
Yeah.
him like they opened him like minus 600 or something.
Yeah.
He's like minus 2,500 now.
yep. So
So
I mean, your options are you can either be smart like Andre Arlovski and get paid $300,000 to fight Chase Sherman and Augusto Sakai and all the other fucking guys that he's fought, or you can be Frank Mir and get paid 185. What'd you say?
he's making something like that.
Yeah.
We
I
might
think
be
it's-
seeing Andre Arlovski fighting on one of these fucking Triller cards pretty soon, because if he loses to Chase Sherman, the UFC probably does not. They've been cutting some old guys that make a lot of money recently. So
Absolutely.
he might be in for a boxing payday after he gets fucking knocked out by Chase Sherman.
I think if you rank like the top grossing fighters just by their contracted amounts in MMA history, Andre Arlovski is probably top 5 in that
Just
list.
longevity.
Longevity. When
He's always
he
gotten good
affliction,
paydays.
he was getting like a couple million for some of those
Yep.
fights. And then he's been making like $300K for a fight in the
Uh,
UFC for the last like 10 years.
The
Like,
Fighting.
dude's always made 6 figures.
Yep.
And upwards of $200,000-$300,000 a fight, which there's not a lot of guys getting that.
So now that we've gotten to this point in the Bellator fight, honestly, I don't know who's winning. I haven't really been paying attention. It's
Nemkov.
probably Nemkov. But I've got an over 4.5 here in like a weird chalky Bellator parlay. I think I need Cunningham to beat Mir. Regis
Yeah.
Progress to win
Minus
his fight.
3,500.
Yeah.
He's like a minus 5,000. And then I got the over 3.5 in Paul and Askren. That's gonna be the money, baby. If we get over 3.5, we're good to go.
Chalk it up, baby.
That's right.
Yeah, I mean this is a Phil Davis fight. It's usually close. Nothing too crazy is happening.
Everybody I've
that's
seen,
everybody
I see on the timeline gave Nemkov the first 3 pretty easy.
Yeah.
He looked real good. Like he hurt Phil in the second. Like most were saying, it's about as bad as Phil's ever been hurt in a fight, like ever. Because
he does. I don't know if he's ever been dropped. Like Phil Davis,
that was like the first
just
time.
Yeah,
durable. Never gets hit cleanly too much, and
Nemkov's bleeding though, and complaining about fake nut shots. So
it was in the first round. I think he hit an overhand right and
look at that,
split him open.
Looks like he's losing. I hope they give Davis the decision.
Fuck you, Brad.
Fuck that. I need Nemkov here.
Lance doesn't need money. I need money. I got.
You're gonna get your
last week.
I got a kid on the way. You got your over money, you prick.
I'm greedy, you bastard.
I'm gonna buy you one of the presents on the list.
No, don't give me that. Just let me hit my fucking.
Yeah. Do that anyway, but also.
Yeah. By my clock, I know Wes, by your clock, you got like 3 something left on the fight, probably, right?
2:35.
Oh, there you go. You're not that far behind.
Yeah.
So we got like 2 minutes left in this Bellator fight. We'll hang tight with you folks. They like all 7 of you that might be watching us still. But yeah,
how juiced was that 4.5, Brad?
It wasn't.
Really?
It was like minus 125 or something like that.
Wow. That's surprising considering Phil Davis's durability. That was a good bet.
Over 4.5. Like right now, it's at, when I pull it up on Best Fight Odds, it's minus 147 at times.
Nemkov was down to like minus 165.
Yeah,
or something.
Davis got steamed late.
Yeah.
Nemkov is kind of losing a bit of gas at the end of this fight.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like if Davis had have made it a grappling match from the start, I think he probably would have had a much better chance than.
Oh yeah.
Most of the time when I looked up, it was just
striking from distance.
Striking from distance. So
Phil Davis's bread and butter.
that's the forte right there, baby.
All that
Penn State wrestling. Speaking of Penn State, I know nobody cares, but Mac O'Keefe, Penn State attackman, set the NCAA record for goals in a career tonight on Big Ten Network.
Oh, shit.
Do lacrosse players ever leave school early, or is it like always fucking 4 years or 5 years, whatever it is?
Yeah, it's always.
It's never really.
Yeah, like once they
not
get
really
there,
something to leave for, you know.
Yes, the scholarship money is worth more than what they get paid as a pro.
Yeah.
Although hopefully the Premier Lacrosse League is going to change that, but we'll see. But yeah, they all go. Like, if anything, it's more likely for a lacrosse player to go back for a grad year than
nice.
to go pro, because they actually get real jobs when they come out of college.
Yeah, that's gonna do her. That's the fight. We'll see what the judges if they're gonna.
It's probably
to screw me and Wes. We'll see.
It's looking 3-2 or 4-1 from most of what I'm seeing.
Yeah, I wasn't watching it close enough to have an opinion. I'm glad that even though Bellator hates Canada, not Bellator, even though Scott Coker hates Canada, they decided to put this stuff on YouTube for us.
Yeah, that's sweet. I don't have to find a shitty stream.
Oh, was that just the highlight of Davis getting rocked?
Yeah,
he just sort of like tripped over his own
tripped.
feet.
Yeah, he tripped.
That was what it was?
That was a different one. I think that was a different one. I don't know if that was the same one.
Somebody I read some kind of uppercut.
I don't think so.
They both smoked each other with hooks.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, how long do we have to wait for Rumble and
it's coming up.
YOLO?
It's not too far in
they
the
fucking
future.
Delayed. I don't know. Did they ever say why they delayed it? Did somebody get COVID or?
Mm-hmm.
That's May 7th.
So 3 weeks.
There you go.
Man, that's
Same
still
week as Diego Sanchez, Donald Cerrone.
Banger.
that's still
Absolute
a good game,
banger.
man. Like I'm still looking forward to Rumble and YOLO.
That's
I
gonna be
don't
a
care.
wild fight.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Rumble hasn't fought in like so long.
He's got a
YOLO.
lot of rage built up. He's been to a lot of yoga studios.
Yeah, there's been a lot of
He's
people.
ready to unleash that fury.
How dare you get on my chest press machine, bitch?
Go do some yoga.
All right, Wes, do you want us to spoil this decision for you?
Yeah.
You don't want to wait. We're going to get this decision, and then we're going to sign off for the night because we just went over 2 hours.
Oh, my goodness. My boy Rob Tatum's got a 50-45. Most people I see is 3-2 Nemkov, but he's usually got pretty good scores, too. Damn, he's got a 50-45. What?
48-47. Unanimous. Nemkov.
Oh,
We'll take it. We'll take it. Lance loses money on a wrestler. It's 2021. Some things never change.
His problem is he bets all the wrong wrestlers now. He hates the wrestlers that win. And
he hates Russian wrestlers and non-All-American wrestlers who are actually good these days.
Yep.
That's all right. Over, baby. Just another Nemkov's, just another boring Russian. That's what it is.
Wes Matt wants a post-fight stream after the Askren fight.
Ooh, I'll whine in Wesley on
ask.
Saturday night.
Yeah, that's rough.
That's a tough ask.
Yeah,
we'll see. We'll see, Matt.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to do it for us this week. I know we dragged this shit out a little bit longer to coincide with the end of the Bellator card. Honestly, not the greatest main event over in Bellator.
Surprise.
Wasn't terrible, but yeah, that's what you get with Bellator. The Paul Daly fight, that was pretty awesome.
Corey Anderson's fight was fun too. That wasn't a bad
fight. Bad.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of that boring Russian. That's what I like to see.
That's what we like to see.
Yeah. Better dead than red or something, right, bro?
Yeah, something.
God.
Yeah. Stop hating the Jews, you skinhead.
Actually, I had an old car in the driveway. I emptied it out. I took it over to the wreckers earlier today, and what do you know? There was just a dolly sitting in the back of the car. So I'm just gonna have to
somewhere in the world. Rose Namajunas shipped.
Oh, she's everywhere.
Fuck is that?
I think I might have to bring that on as a prop in a couple of weeks when she's gonna get the shit beat out of her by Wei Li.
Yeah.
Wait, is that a couple weeks? Is that next week?
That's next week, sir. You better get your shit in order.
Yeah. I might just lay the juice there.
Oh.
I'm just gonna bring my dolly and lay the juice.
Put a beating on her.
I think so. We'll see. But until then, have a good time. Enjoy the UFC. Enjoy whatever the hell. Was LFA tonight too? I'm probably gonna go watch that now.
It was.
Yeah. But we'll be back for you next week. UFC 260 something or other. 261. Terrible main event. Somehow the women's title fights are the best fights on that card.
Lance will disagree with you.
I don't think so. I mean, he'll say that it's Weidman Hall. But does that really count?
Will.
No.
Dude, so just like I just scrolled down on best fight odds. Brendan Allen minus 130 against Carl Roberson. That's the play next week.
We're gonna make Lance rank the title fights next Saturday.
I like it. I like it. So you guys tune back in for that. Name to watch: Roland Dunlap. Crazy story. I will have to check that out. Is that? I'll Google it. I'll figure it out. I'm a young, internet savvy gentleman.
Millennial.
I'm sure that I'm an early millennial. I'll figure it out. But enjoy the fights this weekend, folks. We'll see you next week for UFC 261.